I would like to congratulate to PMI Mongolia chapter members and board members for this successful conference. It's really a big honor for me to speak in this conference. And today I would like to talk about ISO 21500 and its implication to PMI and PMI members and PMP certification. I have been working on ISO TC 258 since the last 7 years. I can compare what's the difference of ISO standard and PMP guide. So I wish my session will give you some inspiration of the importance of ISO and PMP guide too. I arrived in Mongolia yesterday morning, and it's first time for me to be in Mongolia. I was very curious about Mongolia because it's the first time. So I have searched internet before I come in and tried to understand more about Mongolian history and culture. And I found it, all the people are very kind, like Korean. And we look very the same. So yesterday I feel really comfortable, like I'm in Korea and with my family. So thanks for everybody for giving me a hospitality and makes me comfortable. Okay, in 2007, the PMI released a supplement newsletter to PM network, and it says about the starting ISO standard. And PMI encouraged PMI chapter leaders to involve in discussing about this international standard. And at the time, I was wondering why we should have a standard, because we have a various standard in project management, which is PMP guide. And so I must answer to myself why I should involve in this discussion, because it's voluntary work, no money, but spend a lot of my time. So I must justify myself why I spend my time for this task. And at the time, there are various national standards and guidance in project management. And the yellow marked is national standard. Many countries have their own national standard for managing projects. They have different language. And the blue one is also being used globally as a guide. So Prince 2 is famous in European countries and some part of Asia. And also ICB is from IPMA, which is a project management community in Europe. So they made ICB. And in Japan, Japan made a P2M, which is a very good concept, and they use it in Japan. So we have multiple language in project management. But the world is changing and more globalized. And many projects are global projects. And even in one company, they have many projects, and they have a project manager in Mongolia, maybe. And the members are in China, Korea, or in the States. So different people with different backgrounds and cultural backgrounds, they must work one project. So the demands for one language is more expanding. I think many of you have experiences with me. When we travel, we sometimes meet an embarrassment situation. Each country has different electric plug. So when you found that it's different from mine, get embarrassed, and we don't know what to do. So I bought these kits and always carry. But sometimes I forget to carry. Then also, and I again and in travel. But in this travel to Mongolia, I haven't got any trouble because we have the same plug. I don't need any adapter. So I wish if we had international standard before every country has make their own plug, then our life must be much easier. We don't have to worry about the plug. The standard is like that. Standard makes everybody's life easier. That's the purpose and why. That was my answer to my question. So the reason behind that why we need the ISO 21500 in project management is we need one language in project management. Let me look back the history of ISO 21500 a little bit. And it was started in 2006. It was proposed by a British Standard Institute. So soon after, ISO asked opinion onto other countries, about 160 countries, whether they have an intention to join this committee. And many of the countries wish to join. So the TC and PC 236 was formed, and the first plenary was held in the UK, London. And then every year we meet and we have a conference call and discuss, and sometimes arguments. And then after 5 years, we had a ISO 21500 list. And there were 51 countries involved in this discussion, and 37 countries were actually involved in the meeting and conference, and the other 14 countries is observing. They just get the information how it goes. So finally, 51 countries involved. Sorry, because I have no eyes in my back, so I use my own screen. So I didn't know what's happening on the back. So 51 countries involved in developing this international standard. There are many committees in ISO, but mostly they develop technical standard. When we manufacture something, we need a standard, a technical specification. In search of technical standard, there are only about 10 countries involved, and they are leading those industries. But this is very large number of countries who involved in this developing ISO 21500 standard. Initially, when we start developing, there are many existing national standards and guidelines were considered because before we started, there are many standards used. So UK BS 6079 was considered, and Australian standard, France and Germany, and Japan's P2M, and NC standard, which is a PMP guide, and ISO 106 was also considered. And finally, the committee chosen these 5 sources. One is a British standard, and German standard, and US standard, and ISO quality management standard in projects, and other opinions from the subject matter experts. So we started to developing from this point. And finally, we got a international standard in 2012, September. It's now being used worldwide at this moment. And ISO standard has a base concept of there are 10 subject groups. And anybody in this room who understands PMP guide knows this is exactly the same as the concept of PMP guide. there are 10, in the PMP guide, there are 10 knowledge area, which is called subject groups in ISO standard. And there are 5 process groups, which is from initiating to closing. There are 5 process groups, which is exactly the same as PMP guide. And also there are some other component out of PMP guide, which is some from IPMA, ICD, which is very good concept for the competence of a project personnel. So ISO standard has mainly PMP guide and some other sources from other standard and concept. In summary, the difference of PMP guide and ISO is same concept of 5 process groups, but the blue character means some difference in terminology. And 10 subject groups and 10 knowledge area, which is almost same inside, but small terminology difference. And there are 39 processes in ISO and 47 processes in PMP guide. But one big difference is the volume of the documents. ISO has only 40 pages, but PMP guide has more than 600 pages. So there's a big difference in volume.